offseason, some clown named Mike Lombardi told him that he was the least qualified head coach in the NFL.
Welcome to ThatsGoodSports!
Sorry, I was just trying to channel my inner Jason Kelce. I'm Brandon Perna, and even though the NFL season is over, NFL things continue to happen at a rapid pace. The Eagles had their victory parade today, and center Jason Kelce brought down the house with maybe the best sports speech of all time. We'll get to that, plus Jimmy Garoppolo signed a contract, and we'll take a couple more jabs at Josh McDaniels as a warm-up for the Why Josh McDaniels is a True Douche video that I'll be posting tomorrow. So welcome here. I do have big dick shout outs for my newest Patreon supporters. Logan, Simonox, Shanza, Tonka, and that Chiefs fan that shoved sausage down your throat. I don't remember you doing that, Chiefs fan. Unless, of course, your name is Josh Riesgo. Now look, YouTube pays worse than Walmart, so if you want to keep me from becoming a greeter there, please consider making a monthly donation on Patreon to keep me well-fed and drunk. There's a link in the description, and thank you for everybody supporting there. Now, the 49ers signed Jimmy Garoppolo to a 5-year, $137.5 million deal, which is the biggest contract in NFL history on an average per year basis. Mike Garafolo broke the news on Twitter, which is fitting because between Garafolo and Garoppolo, I have no idea how to spell either of their fucking last names. So many A's, so many O's, I don't know where any of them goes. The biggest surprise here is that Jimmy G didn't back out of the contract after a few hours and return to New England. Garoppolo decided to stay because he realized if he went back to New England, he wouldn't be fucking over enough people to make it worth his time. Everybody knows the G in Jimmy G stands for GQ. And he finished the 2017 season 5-0 as a starter, threw for 1,560 yards in those 5 starts. And at that pace, Jimmy Garoppolo could have thrown for 4,992 yards if he played in 16 games. This move for San Francisco was a no-brainer. Garoppolo finished the season with a better Pro Football Focus rating than Aaron Rodgers, and they played a similar number of snaps. I love this signing for SF because it's one of the few examples that show the Patriots got fucked in a trade. My hot take right now is that the 49ers will win the NFC West in 2018. Sorry, NFC West fans. If I'm wrong, please don't dig up this clip in a year. Josh McDaniels has been getting roasted on Twitter like a Thanksgiving turkey or whatever the hell you roast. One of my favorite followers is @BlakeBortlesFacts. He posted this: when you realized you'd have to face Blake Bortles twice a year. And at least now we have clarity as to why McDaniels backed out of the deal. I also have to thank Evan Hoback for sending me quite possibly the funniest tweet I have ever read. I'm just going to let you read it and let it soak in. Great job, Evan. If I was wearing a hat, I would hat it off to you. The Eagles had their victory parade today. The parade had to be routed to one of the streets in Philadelphia that wasn't destroyed by their fans after the win. Jason Kelce, like I said, stole the show. He's the far superior Kelce brother, and he was out singing with the fans and pulled the Kevin Hart and dropped an F-bomb on live local TV.
No one likes us! No one likes us! We don't care! We're the Eagles! Fucking Eagles! No!
Chris Long celebrated by wearing a WWE belt, a Sixers jersey, and a fur coat. The fur coat reminds me of Broncos owner Pat Bowlen, which when combined with the WWE belt makes me think Chris Long is telling all of us he will own an XFL team in 2 years. The parade concluded at the Rocky Steps. The coaches and many of the players were given a chance to speak, and then Jason Kelce stepped up to the podium and began to open his mouth where beautiful words poured from. Here's some highlights from his speech, which is amazing, even though Kelce looks like a Viking who pillaged so many leprechaun villages that he eventually became their one true king.
You love the Eagles, let me get a hell yeah! You love the Philadelphia Eagles, let me get a hell yeah! Howie Roseman, a few years ago, was relinquished of all control pretty much in this organization. He was put in the side, he was put in the side of the building where I didn't see him for over a year. 2 years ago, when they made a decision, he came out of there a different man. He came out of there with a purpose and a drive to make this possible. And I saw a different Howie Roseman, an underdog. When Doug Peterson was hired, he was rated as the worst coaching hire by a lot of freaking analysts out there in the media. This past offseason, some clown named Mike Lombardi told him that he was the least qualified head coach in the NFL.
When Kelce mentions Michael Lombardi from The Ringer, this is what he's referring to.
Now, everyone knows Peterson isn't a head coach. He might be less qualified to coach a team than anyone I've seen in my 30-plus years in the NFL. Peterson was barely a coordinator before he became head coach. When will the Eagles admit their mistake? Will they throw away 17 stubbornly sticking to the Peterson principle? The immortal Roy Rubin lasted 51 games. I bet Doug Peterson lasts way less than that.
You might find a bunch of black feathers in Michael Lombardi's mouth because he just ate fucking crow. And there you have one of the biggest problems in sport media. Shitbirds like Lombardi and Bayless get paid good money to be dead fucking wrong on a regular basis. I'm right more than they are. And 80% of what I say is a goddamn joke. Speaking of God, God bless Jason Kelce.
Doug Peterson, a man who went for it on 4th and down. Went for it on 4th and down in the Super Bowl with the trick play. It does not stop with him. Jason Peters was told he was too old. Didn't have it anymore. Before he got hurt, he was the best freaking tackle in the NFL. Stephen Wisniewski ain't good enough. Jason Kelce's too small.
Okay, Kelce, you're 6'3", 282 pounds. You don't need to rub it in my face.
Lane Johnson can't lay off the juice. Brandon Brooks has anxiety.
Brandon Porter is a virgin!
Carson Wentz didn't go to a Division I school. Nick Foles don't got it. Mark Clement's too slow. The Floyd ain't got it anymore. Jay and John can't stay healthy. Torrey Smith can't catch. Nelson Aguilar can't catch. Zach Ertz can't block. Brent Selleck's too old. Brandon Graham was drafted too high. Vinny Curry ain't got it. Bo Allen can't fit the scheme. Michael Thomas can't fit the scheme. Nigel Bradham can't catch. Jalen Mills can't cover. Patrick Robinson can't cover. It's the whole team.
Jason Kelce sounds enough like Randy Macho Man Savage that I am sure he will be Chris Long's first hire for his XFL franchise.
And that's this team. Bottom line is, we wanted it more. All the players, all the coaches, Jeffrey Lurie, everybody wanted it more. And that's why we're up here today, and that's why we're the first team in Eagles history to hold that freaking trophy.
Like I mentioned, Jason Kelce is brother to Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce. And I know that if the Kelce boys were my sons, Jason would have been my favorite. In fact, I would have denied Travis the love he so desperately seeks.
I think he might have saw the opening line. Yeah, that one right there. I think he saw that and was just like, all right, I'm done.
Really?
Yeah.
Why would your dad be embarrassed by it?
Jason Kelce will be remembered for giving one of the greatest sports speeches of all time. And his brother Travis, well, he'll be remembered for one time where he pretend jerked off onto an NFL referee. Speaking of God again, Eagles quarterback Nick Foles has a giant hard-on for Jesus. Everybody knows that. And that is why it is so funny that Eagles fans have embraced the moniker Big Dick Nick for him. As a man of faith, he can never acknowledge such a vulgar nickname, which is fine. He does plan on becoming a pastor after he retires, and maybe one day he can become a saint. Saint Nick. No, they already have that. Saint Big Dick Nick. Yeah, Saint Big Dick Nick. Thanks for watching another episode of That's Good Sports. Make sure you subscribe here on YouTube, and please come back tomorrow to watch the Josh McDaniels video. I'm really gonna rail into that guy for being such a douche. Douche, 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 douche. All techno music is about Josh McDaniels. Douche, 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 douche.